Hi and welcome back to class of Design of Machine Elements. I am Hitesh Raiyani, Assistant Professor at LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. This is Lecture 3, Heat Treatment and Standard Designations. The learning outcomes of this lecture is to learn the heat treatment of steel and BIS standard designations and ergonomics. So in this lecture we learn these three topics. First we see the heat treatment process of steel material, and then we learn the BIS standard designations and then ergonomics. So let's start heat treatment of steel. So what is heat treatment? So heat treatment is nothing but the controlled heating and cooling process. So in heat treatment process consists of controlled heating and cooling of component. So why heat treatment is done on the component? So for purpose of changing the structure in order to obtain the desired properties like hardness, strength, ductility. So to change these properties, we have to do the heat treatment on the component. For example, we have to increase the hardness or increase the strength or ductility. Then we have to do the component. We have to do the heat treatment process on the component. So major heat treatment process are followed. First is annealing process. So annealing heat treatment process. Second is the normalizing heat treatment process, and third is the quenching heat treatment process. So we will learn these three processes in details in the next slides. So let me start the annealing heat treatment process. So what is annealing heat treatment process? Now we know what is heat treatment process. The heat treatment process is nothing but the controllable heating and cooling process, that is called the heat treatment process. Now annealing process. So annealing process, in annealing process how the heating is done and cooling is done, that we have to learn in particular process. So in annealing process, the heating of component to a temperature slightly higher than the critical temperature is done. So in annealing consists of heating of component to a temperature slightly higher to the critical temperature, and then followed by the slow cooling. So heating the component slightly above the critical temperature and then followed by the slow cooling, that is nothing but the annealing heat treatment process. So why this annealing process is done? So to reduce the hardness and increase the ductility, we have to use the annealing process. So whenever we require the reducing the hardness and increasing the ductility, we have to use the annealing process. Now next is the normalizing process. So normalizing heat treatment process is similar to the annealing process, except the component is slowly cooled in the air. As we seen in annealing, the component is cooled, but here in normalizing process, the component is cooled in air. So here the component is cooled in surrounding air. As shown in figure, in stage 1, the steel rail is heated above the critical temperature in furnace, and then in stage 2, the steel rail is cooled in the air. So whatever the surrounding air is cooled, so steel rail is cooled by the surrounding air. So this is nothing but the normalizing process, and it is used to remove the effect of previous heat treatment process. So if we have to remove the previous heat treatment process effect, then we have to use the normalizing heat treatment process. Now next is quenching. So quenching is consists of heating of component to the critical temperature. So heating the component to the critical temperature and then rapidly cooled in water or air. That is nothing but the quenching. So as shown in figure, you can say that there are one gear which is heated to the critical temperature and rapidly it cooled in water. So that process is nothing but the quenching heat treatment process. So why quenching heat treatment process we have to use? So it increase the hardness and water resistance. So we have to use quenching process to increase the hardness and wear resistance. So these three processes is generally used in heat treatment process to enhance the material properties or to get the desired properties. So whenever we do the heat treatment process, the internal structure of material is changed, and according to that changing structure, we get the desired properties. So heat treatment process is done in machine components when we have to get the desired properties. Now next topic is BIS system of designation of steel. So as we know the large number of varieties of steel are used for the machine components, and how to designate that steel, that we have to learn in our topic. So a steel are designated by a group of letter or number indicating the properties of following. So steel, as we know, there are number of steels used in machines component, used for the machine components, and how to designate that steel. So steel is designated by the letter or number indicating any of the following properties. So first property is tensile strength. Second property is the content of carbon. So carbon content is the second properties. And third properties is the compositions of alloying material. So when there are alloying materials, how much the compositions of alloying materials that are designated in by the steel. So how designate? So steel standardized on the basis of their tensile strength or yield strength. So a symbol AP followed by the minimum tensile strength in Newton per mm square. So one of the method is based on the tensile strength in Newton per mm square, and then for that a symbol AP is used followed by the minimum tensile strength in Newton per mm square. Let's we see how the steel is designated according to the minimum tensile strength in Newton per mm square. So a symbol Fe is used followed by 360 Newton per mm square. That is the minimum tensile strength, and that is equal to Fe. That is equal to Fe 360. So Fe 360 means what? Steel with minimum tensile strength 360 Newton per mm square. So whenever there are write Fe 360, that means the steel with 360 Newton per mm square minimum tensile strength. Now second method is based on the yield strength. So for that a symbol APE followed by the yield strength in Newton per mm square is used. So how to designate according to the yield strength? Let's we check. A symbol Fe is used followed by followed by the yield strength 360 Newton per mm square is equal to Fe 360. So when it is denoted as Fe 360. So Fe 360 means what? A steel with 360 Newton per mm square yield strength. So in this way the steel is designated according to the tensile strength and the yield strength. Now the next topic is designation of plain carbon steel. So the plain carbon steel, the designation of the plain carbon steel consists of following three components. for following three quantities. So first quantity is a figure indicating the 100 times of the average percentage of carbon. As shown in the block, there are 55. The 55 means what? There are 100 times of average percentage of carbon. That means what? There are 0.55% carbon in a steel, plain carbon steel. Second is followed by the second is a letter C. So there will be capital letter C. And next followed by third is a figure indicating 10 times the average percentage of magnesium. So in this way, here you can say the 4 is indicated. So 4 means what? 0.4% manganese is used in plain carbon steel. So is equal to 55 C4. So 55 C4 indicates the plain carbon steel with 0.55% carbon and 0.4% manganese. Let's see the another example. 40 followed by the letter C followed by the figure 8. So that is equal to 40C8. So 40C8 means what? The plain carbon steel with 0.4% carbon and 0.8% manganese. So in this way the plain carbon steel is designated now according to the BIS standard. Now next is ergonomic considerations in machine designs or element designs. As we learned in the first lectures, we have to consider the manufacturing considerations, ergonomic considerations. So in these lectures we learn the ergonomics considerations in design. So what is the meaning of ergonomic? So ergonomic is nothing but the relations between man and machine. So when you do the designs, you have to consider the ergonomics. Means what? You have to design the component which can be easily used by the man or human. So you have to apply the relationship between man and machines while you doing the design. So it is nothing but the relationship between man and machine and the applications of physiological and psychological principle to solve the problems arise from the man-machines relationship. So according to man-machines relationship, whatever the problems arise, that solves by the ergonomics. Let's see the main machines closed loop systems. Figure shows the main machine closed loop systems in which one side is the man and other side is the machines, and whatever the informations in the machines is receptions by the man, and the control of these informations is done by the man and then fed to the machine. So the main machine cycles smoothly work. So this way you have to consider the ergonomics in your machine design. For example, if you have to design the chair, then you have to consider the comfortable of main sittings when you design the chair. So in these lectures we learned basic heat treatment process, what is heat treatment process, and BIS standard designations and the ergonomic considerations in design. So in these lectures we learn these three topics. Thank you.